Welcome back to On the Roll with Matt. Today, I want to take a moment to honor mothers, and not just in the simple, polished greeting card kind of way, but in the real way, the human way, the way that makes room for beauty and pain, gratitude and grief, love and loss, celebration and silence. Because Mother's Day can be beautiful, but for many people, it can also be incredibly heavy. So, first, I want to honor the mothers who have loved deeply, sacrificed quietly, prayed faithfully, worked tirelessly, and carried more than most people will ever know. I honor the mothers who showed up when they were exhausted, the mothers who gave when they had very little left, the mothers who fought for their children in ways no one saw, the mothers who kept homes together, held families close, and did their best with what they had. I honor grandmothers, stepmothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, spiritual mothers, aunties, sisters, mentors, and every woman who has poured out love, wisdom, protection, guidance, and tenderness into someone else's life. Some women mother with children in their arms. Some mothers through presence, compassion, encouragement, and sacrifice. And some have mothered others without ever being given the title, recognition, or applause they deserved. But I also want to acknowledge something that often gets missed on days like this. Mother's Day is not easy for everyone. For some, this day brings joy. For others, it brings grief. For some, it brings warmth and gratitude. For others, it brings memories, questions, regret, longing, or pain that still has not fully healed. Some people are grieving mothers who are no longer here. Some are grieving children. Some are longing to become mothers. Some have complicated relationships with their moms. Some are carrying wounds from what was said, what was not said, what was done, or what was never repaired. And I think we need to be mature enough, compassionate enough, and honest enough to say that all of that belongs in the room too. For me, Mother's Day carries its own weight. My mom passed away years ago during COVID. And like many people experienced during that season, there was strain, there was brokenness, there were things that were unresolved, things that were not fully reconciled, things I wish had been different, conversations I wish could have happened, healing I wish could have taken place while she was still here. And when someone passes, especially when there is unfinished pain, it does something deep inside you because grief is not just missing someone. Sometimes grief is also carrying what never got fixed. It is carrying the words that were never spoken, the apologies that never came, the questions that still do not have answers, the love that was real but complicated. the memories that are both tender and painful. And I have had to learn that I cannot carry all of that by myself. I cannot go back and rewrite the story. I cannot force reconciliation after someone is gone. I cannot untangle every painful thread with my own strength. I cannot heal old wounds by replaying them over and over again in my mind. At some point, I have had to give it to God. Not because it suddenly made everything easy, not because it erased the pain, not because surrender means pretending it did not hurt, but because I believe God can carry what I cannot. He can carry the burden. He can hold the grief. He can meet me in the unresolved places. He can bring peace where I may never get full answers. He can give grace where there was brokenness. He can help me release what was never mine to keep carrying forever. And that has been part of my healing. Surrender for me has not meant forgetting, it has meant loosening my grip on the pain. It has meant trusting that God is big enough to hold the whole story, the love, the hurt, the loss, the questions, the memories, and the pieces I still do not fully understand. Because the truth is, many things can be true at the same time. You can love your mother and still be healing. You can miss someone and still acknowledge that the relationship was complicated. You can be grateful for what they gave and still grieve what was missing. You can honor someone's life without pretending everything was perfect. You can have faith and still feel sadness. You can surrender something to God and still have days where the weight feels heavy. And maybe that is what this day requires from us. Not perfection, but honesty. Honest gratitude. Honest grief. Honest remembrance. Honest surrender. So today, I want to honor the mothers who are still with us and the mothers who are not. I honor those who are celebrating today with full hearts. I honor those who are trying to smile through tears. I honor those whose relationships with their mothers are beautiful and close. And I honor those whose stories are more complicated than they know how to explain. I honor the mothers who feel seen today and the mothers who feel forgotten. The mothers who are surrounded by family and the mothers who feel alone. The women who long to be mothers and never had the chance. The women who became mother figures in someone's life when they needed love the most. The people who are grieving quietly while the world tells them to celebrate loudly. There is space for all of you today. And if this day is heavy for you, I want to say this gently. You do not have to pretend. You do not have to force yourself to feel what you do not feel. You do not have to clean up your grief so it is easier for other people to understand. You do not have to carry the unresolved parts alone. For me, I have had to lay those things before God again and again, sometimes daily, sometimes moment by moment. And I have had to trust that even when I do not have closure in the way I wanted it, I can still receive peace in the way God gives it. That does not make the story perfect, but it does mean the story is not without hope. So today, I give God the glory for the mothers who love well, for the women who nurture and guide, for the grace that meets us in grief, and for the peace that can come even when life leaves us with unanswered questions. To every mother figure, every grieving child, every grieving parent, every person with a complicated story, and every heart that feels both thankful and tender today, you are seen. May you feel comfort where there is pain. May you feel gratitude where there is love. May you feel peace where there are unanswered questions. And may you know that God is able to carry what feels too heavy for you to carry alone. Happy Mother's Day to all who carry the heart of a mother. Thank you for coming back to On the Roll with Matt. If this resonated with you, please like this video, comment if you feel comfortable sharing, and send it to someone who may need a little compassion today. See you next time.